Hey there, and welcome back to JetsHQ. Thank you guys for joining me again today. I really appreciate it. Special video today. We've got a really good question that was put to us by one of our subscribers. Mr. Michael Love, thank you for the question. I appreciate it because it gives us a chance to put up some good content and discuss good topics. He asked what we thought about the CJ Mosley acquisition for the Jets, and we have a lot of thoughts on that, so it's actually a really good question. I'm going to break it down for you guys real quick, and we'll talk about both sides of the story. So hopefully we'll clear up how everybody feels. Real quick, I do want to give a shout out. I want to thank the Jets for actually getting Le'Veon Bell to sign. I didn't want to put a video out until he actually signed on the dotted line, and he did. So very, very excited. That actually feeds back into the CJ Mosley question. So I want to talk about that. And I'll explain what I mean, how the Le'Veon Bell thing fits in with CJ Mosley. But let's start off. I'm sporting Revis today. I got a little Revis going on, a little yesteryear. One of our greatest players ever. Been thinking about how we need some cornerbacks, but we'll talk about that in another video. So, also wanted to mention, I'm going to do a video. It's an unusual video because people don't always focus on special teams, but I don't obviously think that everybody remembers the Jets were number one in one area last year, other than losing and being sucky. They were number one in special teams. And, you know, the two Pro Bowlers that we had came from special teams, and they both won't be back, which is confusing. The Jets spent a lot of money, and they wouldn't put any into the two Pro Bowlers that came from their team this year, which I understand. I mean, I do understand the financial side of it. Getting Catanzaro instead of Myers has probably saved them $1.5 million, $2 million, which is not chump change, even though everybody says, well, they got $90, $100 million to spend. That's not chump change. $1 million is $1 million. Might come down to the difference later in the year, but so, I mean, Catanzaro is a decent quarterback. Decent kicker. God forbid he ever becomes our quarterback. So, I mean, I understand that's not so bad. And, of course, we do have Jamison Crowder to return kicks, so he does replace Roberts. You know, I mean, when you have a guy who's number one in returns and, you know, the best kicker in football, sometimes it's tough to swallow when you're the fan base, and you've had that, and you see them both jettison the next year. So that's a little tough, but we'll get to that in another video. We'll talk all about it. So let's get to the question at hand. The question is, CJ Mosley, is he worth the $17 million a year the Jets are paying? And of course, there's two sides to the story. So let's start off with the very simple, easy answer. Let's talk about his stats. CJ Mosley, first of all, he signed a $17 million a year contract. It's a 5-year contract for $85 million. The first 3 years are guaranteed, so it's $51 million that's guaranteed. So with the last 2 years of the contract, if the Jets cut him or trade him, it's no salary cap hit. There's no money lost. There's nothing owed to him. So it's 3 years. And it is true, CJ Mosley is 26 years old, so through the 3 years of the contract that are guaranteed is during his prime. So you've got a guy who's a fantastic player. He's getting better. He's in his prime. His best days are in front of him. So that is a very positive thing. And I got to tell you, CJ Mosley is one of the top 5 linebackers in football. I'm going to go down my rank of linebackers in football. We'll talk about that too, because I was asked. Michael asked me how we rank him. We're going to rank him for you, Michael. But let's just look strictly at the stats, okay? Over the years that CJ Mosley has been playing professional football, he's got a total of 8.5 sacks. He's got a total of 9 interceptions. And he's performed roughly 400 solo tackles, and he's got another 199 assists and 43 tackles for loss. So when you're talking about $17 million a year, is he worth it? No, he's not worth $17 million a year. But that's just the stats, okay? And not everything is based on statistics. You have to remember the position that CJ Mosley plays is middle linebacker. Now, the last time we had a middle linebacker of his quality was David Harris. And I think if you look up David Harris's stats, you'll notice that they're roughly the same. Maybe even a little bit less. I don't think he intercepted as many passes, but he was general. He's the general on the field. And CJ Mosley is absolutely that. There's no question. The man has a presence on the field. He can call the plays. He gets inside the quarterback's head. He's got those Singletary eyes, and he hits like a freaking cannon. So not everything is about statistics. So you have to think about his presence and what he does for the Jets and for the Jets defense. And with Greg Williams coming in and installing his defense, he needed a field general. We didn't have that. Darren Lee is just not that. And the Jets didn't have that on the team. So he got it. I mean, he wanted Anthony Barr for the outside rush, which would have been really great, but he wasn't going to be the field general. That's why they went after CJ Mosley at the same time. Now, let me tell you how this all feeds back together with Le'Veon Bell and everything. Now, if you notice what happened with Anthony Barr, and by the way, fuck you, Anthony Barr, for leaving. Pussy ass bitch. That's just my opinion. I would have loved to have you on the team, but now you can go fuck yourself. But that was the problem. The problem is that you have all of these big name profile superstar free agents, and all of them have the same idea. They use the Jets to get these high offers, and then they go back to the original teams, or they go to another team and they shop that offer around. And don't be surprised. Le'Veon Bell was doing the same thing. I love having Le'Veon Bell. He's a New York guy. He wanted to be on the Jets, but he was shopping the Jets offer. Now, the one thing that the CJ Mosley signing did is we have on paper a superstar free agent name. And that helped get Le'Veon Bell's name on the paper instead of, because I didn't put out a video. I still haven't done it. Now I can because Le'Veon signed the paper. But I was worried we were going to get another Anthony Barr situation there. And believe me, if he had gotten a better offer, I bet you it would have been. But CJ Mosley signing, and we overpaid for him, does give us the chance to sign more high-profile names and to get them to actually sign instead of just shopping us around. Kirk Cousins did it to us last year. Kirk Cousins actually was a gift in disguise. We ended up with Sam Darnold, and we end up with all the money to pay C.J. Mosley, but unfortunately not Anthony Barr, and Jamison Crowder and Le'Veon Bell and all the guys that we did get and the people that did sign their names. So there's that. So there's that aspect of C.J. Mosley that comes with the overpaying, and the Jets had to overpay to get him. I mean, C.J. Mosley wasn't going to sign with the Jets. He was shopping our offer around too. But it got to the point where the number the Jets offered was so high, it was like a Godfather situation. They made him an offer he just couldn't refuse.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
And he signed. I mean, I would too. Offer me $17 million a year. You wouldn't believe what I do for the Jets. But, that's what they had to do. And Mike McCagnon knew it. He had to get one of these guys to say yes. And that's the only way that we could get the other ones to say yes. And even with it, the Anthony Barr, running away, that, just shows you that there's still that trouble, that spectra with the Jets of losing. So hopefully we'll turn some of that around. We'll get some of these free agents to actually sign on the dotted line, which is part of the C.J. Mosley signing. That's a positive. So outside of the statistics, so let me go over some other things. I made some notes so that I wouldn't mess this up because, Michael, I want to get this right for you. So if you include outside linebackers and inside linebackers in the whole mix of linebackers in the NFL, there's quite a few that are above the ranking of C.J. Mosley. You obviously start with Khalil Mack, Von Miller. They're just, in Pluto. They're crazy good. So D Ford, who was just traded to the 49ers, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. Olivier Vernon, I don't think he's an outside linebacker. So it's hard, it's apples and oranges, but he's older. I wouldn't rank him above C.J. Mosley, but he's right there with him. And they're all getting paid, about the same or more than C.J. Mosley. But then you've got the guys who are paid a lot less than him. So you have let's see here. You have Kuechly of Carolina. Now he's, definitely the best middle linebacker, and he's getting paid about $20 million less than C.J. Mosley. Barr is about on the same thing, but he's an outside linebacker. So, and then you get Quan Alexander, who just went to the 49ers also, and he's getting paid about the same as Mosley. So, I mean, he's in that class. I would say that he ranks beneath Mack, Miller, Ford, and Kuechly. He's probably equal to Barr. He's probably equal or a little bit below Quan Alexander. So there's where he fits in the ranking. And, we're lucky to have him. I mean, I really think, that no matter, forget the money, we're very lucky to have him because there's a name. We have the field general for Greg Williams, And there's that name that's signed in free agency that say, hey, other guys, come on over. We don't just have Jamal Adams who's waving the flag. Please, somebody join me. So we've got that, which is really, really positive. Now, I still think there's some work to do. We've got to get some more offensive linemen. Just like I said in the last video, I cannot say enough that we need more offensive linemen. The linemen we have suck. Well, aside from Assembly Kaliji, who we just got, we need those linemen. Le'Veon Bell needs somebody to block for him. He can't catch, run, and block. So, I'd like to keep his head on his shoulders for the foreseeable future. Got to get those guys. So we'll work on that. Let's see, did I hit everything? I mean, we absolutely, have to consider this a positive. I know we're overpaying. We've got a lot of money left. But if you're just looking pure statistics, no, we're definitely overpaying the guy. But he serves so many other purposes that you have to look at this as a positive. You have to feel lucky to have him. And when he's on the field and he's running that defense, I think that you'll feel like you're getting your money's worth. And you'll see that he's going to do other things like bring other free agents to the team. So there we have that. I am going to talk in the next few videos probably about we're going to do some more draft planning. I think that with Quan Alexander, I was going to talk about Quan Alexander. With him going to the 49ers at number 2, I'm going to give you a little sneak preview of my next video when I'm talking about the draft strategy. I think that it might change some things up. I think that we were looking at Quinnen Williams and we were looking at Josh Allen at number 3. But with Quan Alexander going to the 49ers, they don't need an edge rusher now. Bosa might be off the table for them. So if the Cardinals take the quarterback, number 1, and then the 49ers trade out and the 2 quarterbacks go 1 and 2, the Jets have the plum position of number 3 where they get Bosa to fall to them. Like Nick Bosa will actually fall. We'll get our edge rusher. And we don't need Anthony Barr. We don't need to pay him $15 million a year. We could pay Nick Bosa $1 million, and he could do the same thing or do it better. So, that might be ridiculous if that turns out to be the case, where the 49ers just do us a huge favor if they go after the draft capital. And, of course, if that doesn't happen, the Jets could go after the draft capital and trade down and go for the offensive lineman and still get an edge rusher in the middle of the field like a Clelin Ferrell or somebody like that. But we'll talk all about it. I'm letting all the cats out of the bag. I want to talk about that in another video. So, anyway, Michael Love, this one was for you. I hope this answered your question. I know I rambled on, but I hope I gave you all of the info from both sides and make you feel a little bit better about this free agent acquisition. So, anyway, that's what I've got. It was great to talk to you guys again. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, whatever all that crap is. I don't know anything about it. I just make videos. I don't know about all that other stuff. But I'm on Twitch now, so check us out at JetsHQ Twitch. On Twitch, what else can I tell you? Like and subscribe, and write some comments. Let me know what else you want to hear, because I'll make a video for you. I love it. Anyway, thank you guys very much, and let's go Jets!